What is going on, Pokemon fans? My name is Cody and welcome to Deck Tech Tuesday, where I break down the decks that I am currently playing in PTCGO and the TCG card game in real life. So without further ado, let's get into this because this video is going to be kind of long. Anyways, this is kind of like my water toolbox anti-meta deck. I built this based off of the meta decks card list, but there were a few changes I wanted to make to it because there were a few things that I noticed in the current standard meta that were not working well against, that were working really well against this deck. So I don't know if any of you have ever played this deck. A lot of people call it like Regice Glaceon or Regice Manaphy, I don't know. Anyways, instead of running what he ran, I decided to I think he ran 3 Articuno Ancient Trait, and I am only running 2, and then 1 Articuno Full Art from Generations with the Find Ice abilities. But we're just going to start from the beginning. Obviously, you have your 2 Staple Shaman to get the card draw, your 1 Staple Hoopa to get the EXs out, to get the Glaceon, and the Glaceon, the Manaphy, so you can get that free retreat. Scoundrel Ring is the ability you're going to use on that. Setup is the ability you're going to use on Shaman. Articuno, this Articuno is still really good, and I don't know why more people don't use it. I also really love the art on it, but that's besides the point. You're going to use the Find Ice ability for the most part. Search your deck for up to 3 water energy. Reveal them, put them in your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. Freezing Wind is also a very good ability. It's a 2-hit knockout on almost anything besides most megas, unless you have a Fighting Fury belt. But it is very cost heavy. It's very energy costly. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Extremely energy costly. So I basically use it as my bait. You know, because they're only taking 1 prize card. I'm just using it to get the energy into my hand, and then after that, if they knock it out, cool, I have a super rod to get it back into my hand in case I need more energy. And then this is one of the this is going to be one of your main attackers, mainly for that Delta Plus, I believe is what it is. That Delta Plus ability. If your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack of this Pokemon, take 1 more prize card. So if you knock out an EX, you're taking 3. If you knock out a regular, you're taking 2. So it's gonna be like a 3-turn game if you can set it up fast enough. The Tri-Edge attack, very powerful attack because you land 3 heads, you're dealing. Yeah, you land 3 heads, you're dealing 120 damage. Chilling Psy is also really good. I like the Chilling Psy and then Tri-Edge, so they can't get their Pokemon off the active slot, and it's harder for them to wake up without Pokemon Center later. So yeah, I run 2 of those, and then Glaceon EX is also. It's basically Glaceon, Articuno, and Regice are your 3 main attackers in this. Glaceon can deal a ton of damage with the Second Bite ability. Kyurem also has the old school Kyurem from a black and white set, has the same ability, except I believe the only difference is this is an EX, so you're taking 1 more price card off of it, and it's in the standard format. Second Bite's going to cost 1 water, 1 basic. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon, so you can deal a ton. I've dealt close to like 200 damage with Second Bite. It's a phenomenal attack, but I use Glaceon for the Crystal Ray attack. It's going to cost 1 water, 2 colorless. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from evolution Pokemon, and you guys will see if I can do it, how well-rounded the Glaceon and the Glaceon Regice synergy is. It's absolutely insane. It basically shuts down everything that your opponent's going to play, because 9 times out of 10 they're not going to play an entire deck full of basic Pokemon unless they're playing like an all EX deck or like a totally basic 50 HP starter Pokemon deck. I don't know, I've never seen it, but it could happen, who knows. When I show you guys the gameplay of this, you'll see that you can easily, with the Manaphy Regice Glaceon synergy is just there with the free retreat cost. If they want to switch theirs out, switch their EX out for a evolution Pokemon, I just switch my Regice out for Glaceon, so on and so forth. Do it back and forth until they can't, basically, until they concede, because they can't attack. So yeah, that's what that's used for, or what I use it for. And then you have Manaphy EX. Each of your Pokemon that has water energy attached to it has no retreat cost. This is really good for a lot of things. It's really good for Hoopa if they Lysander it out, because Hoopa's retreat cost is pretty heavy. Shaman, because Shaman gets one hit knockout really fast. And you can use the Mineral Pump ability if you want to. I mean, if you're playing against a fire deck, it's going to deal 120, which will knock out a good portion of things. It's not going to knock out a whole ton of EXs, but it'll deal a good amount of damage. 2-hit knockout against fire, but everything else, Mineral Pump is pretty much useless. And then Regice, with Ice Beam and Resistance Blizzard. A lot of people don't care for Ice Beam. I like it because if you land heads, their Pokemon's paralyzed, but Resistance Blizzard is where it's going to be at. You have to set this up very quickly, and you cannot miss an attack with the Resistance Blizzard attack, or else it's your entire focus on stopping the EX attacks and just destroying your entire deck is useless. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all effects of attack, including damage done to this Pokemon by Pokemon EX. As most of you know, this meta is very EX heavy with the Mega Mewtwo deck, and what else is there? I don't even know what other EX decks there are. Volcanion, that's one of them, there it is. And even this deck, you can counter this deck with Regice. So yeah, the Resistance Blizzard is going to do 70. It's going to be probably a 3-hit knockout, maybe 2 if you have Fighting Fury Belt, but I don't think so. Not to mention, Fighting Fury Belt turns this from a 2-hit knockout or a 1-hit knockout into a pretty close to 2-hit knockout. Or a 3-hit knockout, depending on what Pokemon they're using. It bumps it up to a 160 HP. So yeah, it also bumps Glaceon up to Mega Standard, I believe. It'd be at 210. Yeah, so now that we're done with the Pokemon, we're going to go into trainers. I run 3 copies of Energy Switch. Originally I ran 4. I think in my actual deck I do run 4 copies of Energy Switch, just so in case you use up all your energy and all your Pokemon are on the bench and you have energy on them, you can switch it around to get the energy accelerated onto the Pokemon that you're aiming to put in the active slot. So I run 4 of those. I run 4 Max Elixirs to accelerate. It's just energy acceleration for the most part, because it's pretty crucial to get the setup as quickly as possible. 1 copy of Super Rod to get energy and Pokemon back into my hand, not into my hand, into my deck. I believe I run 4 copies, 3 copies of Trainer's Mail, just to get supporters or the items back in, or to get them into my hand, the ones I need. I run the staple 4 copies of Ultra Ball just to search for Shamans or Hoopa or whatever. The Ultra Ball into Hoopa play is actually really, really good, because you Ultra Ball, you get Hoopa, put it on the bench, you can draw 3, you get your Glaceon and your Manaphy, which I usually take 2 Glaceon, 1 Manaphy, and then your bench is pretty much set up. The only thing you need now is Regice. So staple 4 copies of BS Seeker, put a supporter card from discard pile into your hand, Professor Sycamore, and Lysander. I run a 1-up of Delinquent, just so I can get the opponent to discard 3 cards from his hand. Obviously, it's good if you're playing against Mega Mewtwo and they have the Shrine of Memories out. T-Magma Secret Base, Parallel City, even though it's not as common anymore. It's just all around good that you discard their Stadium and then they lose 3 cards out of their hand. Lysander to get those actives that are destroying you off the active slot and getting the benched, weaker benched ones onto the active slot, so you can get the knockouts. I do only run 2 copies of N. I think I run 2 copies of Lysander and 2 copies of N, because I originally ran 3 copies of N, but I took 1 out to put a double colorless in to accelerate the Crystal Ray ability on, or attack on Glaceon, because I want to get it set up as quickly as possible, so I'm not getting knocked out by non-EX evolution Pokemon. So I run 2 copies of N. Obviously, each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck. Then each player draws a card for each prize card. To staple 4 copies of Professor Sycamore, discard your hand and draw 7 cards. I run 3 copies of Rough Seas. This stadium is an absolute lifesaver. You heal 30 damage each turn. So I run 3 copies of that. I run 3 copies of Fighting Fury Belt. This card makes your EXs that are at 180 sit at about 210. If they're 170, no, if they're 170, they're sitting at about 210. If they're 180, they're sitting at about 220, which is Mega EX standards for most HP, which is a pretty beefy card. It's pretty hard to knock out in 1 or 2 hits, unless you're playing like Mega Mewtwo. Then, of course, it also gives it 10 plus damage. So, let's say you're running the Glaceon or the Manaphy, you're going to be dealing 80 and 70 damage per turn. So I run 3 copies of that, and then 1 copy of DCE. I have the Evolutions Reverse Hollow DCE on because it's my favorite. And then I run, I believe, 11. No, I run 10, 11, 12, 13 water energy of all different assortments. So I'll give you a second to look at that so you know what your deck list can be if you do want to build this deck. And then I'm going to hop into a game with my version of Water Toolbox. I know the old school Water Toolbox was a lot better. I'm pretty sure Seismitoad was in Water Toolbox, but I don't know. Anyways, let's see if we can actually win a game today. Probably not, but whatever. I usually don't lose with Tails. Tails never fails, it always fails, I guess. I never usually lose with my Water Toolbox deck, that's why I love playing it. That was a terrible draw off the start. I guess we'll just double Regice off the top. I mean, it's not terrible because I can get the energy out, but when you only run 12 energy, it's pretty bad. I wonder if this kid is running Rainbow Road. It's the only reason I would see him running C-Dot. I don't know. What could it be? What could it be? Alrighty then. Ultra Ball, discard 2 energy. Get the Hoop out if it didn't get prized. Get those Glaceon and the Manaphy onto my deck. Or onto my bench, my bad. Oh, one of my Glaceons got bench. Or one of my big Glaceons got prized. So we'll take a Shaman. We'll get the Manaphy and the Glaceon set up. Now I have free retreat. In case I feel like they're gonna get knocked out. And then I could just rush these while they're sitting on the bench. Get them back down to 0 damage counters. I really need to end to deck destroy this, or destroy this kid's hand. He's got a lot of cards in his hand, and I do not. He's running Tyranitar, which I also have that deck. It deals a lot of damage very, very quickly. But that's okay, because if we can set up with Resistance Blizzard, I am in a very, very nice spot. I'm going to discard the Shaman, draw 7, and then I'll Super Rod the Shaman back. We'll double up the Regice for now. There we go. So we're starting out pretty well, I'd say. The only problem is I believe my weakness is to no, my weakness is to speed. Yeah, see, Manaphy has a weakness to grass. We're looking good, boys. I think I'm going to start getting the energy onto Glaceon as well. Get the evolution out. Yeah, I need to get... Alright, so he's only dealing 60. I don't want to put both of the Manaphy's out. I got the DCE, which I needed. Unless he has Pokemon Center Lady, again, that's a very, very good play. Just so I could stop the 120 so my red dice doesn't get knocked out and I lose the 3 energy. I pray he doesn't have VS Seeker to get the Pokemon Center Lady back as well. I guess we'll see. Hopefully I can... See, that's fine. I think I'm gonna pull the Glaceon anyways, just so I can get... Red dice healed up if I can top deck Rookseys. I run 3 and I can't get 1. My luck. Who have in my hand? 1 Shaman, 3 energy. Probably could have knocked him out off second bite, but I'd rather not risk it and just wait. There it is. Nice, and of course we prized now we have a problem because I can't get mana to all 50. As much as I hate to waste these. Very good spot now. I think it's gonna bring up. Nope, it's not gonna bring up that. But that's okay, because you guys are getting the gist of how this deck actually works. This deck is phenomenal. Sorry about that. If I can get a Fighting Fear Bell, I can knock that out. Right off the bat. I'm gonna take some damage. But that's okay. Oh no, not okay, cool, cool. See, this is the whole point of this deck right here. Just to shut him down. Okay, we're gonna super rod now because I don't have any energy left in there. And I do not believe. Oh god, I'll open the pack on camera for you guys. There's a lot of stuff going on. Crazy. I haven't really had time to play, so my versus rewards aren't really high, but let's see if we get in. Oh, nothing. If you guys did enjoy that video and did finally understand how that deck works, please let me know down in the comments below what you thought. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know if you want to see more PTCGO content. Until next time, guys, I'll see ya!